Welcome to Sens Talk. My name is Brandon and I am your host. Before we get started, please follow us on Twitter at @SensTalk_ for live tweet updates of the games and of course breaking news. In this video we're going to talk about the Senators preseason, where in 6 games they won 3 and lost 3. The first 3 games they did win, and the last 3 they lost. Now, I know it's preseason, everyone needs to calm down. There's a lot we're going to get to discuss in this video, but of course, the last 3 games were the most important games in the preseason because that was against majority of NHL caliber talent. The first 3 games were more of rookie players trying to showcase a point to make the AHL team, NHL team, or just players on tryouts trying to get a contract. So the last 3 games of any preseason schedule for any team are usually the schedule where the games where it shows what you need to improve on, unlike the first 3 where you're playing against a bunch of rookies. So in the first 3, the Senators killed the Canadiens once and the Leafs twice, going 3-0, outscoring their opponents by plenty of goals, looking strong. Some early on candidates to make the team there were obviously Tom Chabot, who looked dominant. Logan Brown looked dominant. Alex Fermenton came out of nowhere. Tyler Randall, a little pesky guy, he might get a call up. And Danny Taylor, a third-string goalie for the Senators, or fourth-string, he's in Belleville. He looked good as well. So those were the first 3 games. Lots of cuts were made. Let's talk about the last 3, where the Senators, first of the last 3, lost to the Devils 8-1, second loss to the Jets 5-3, and last night lost to the Canadiens 9-2. Now, last night's game against the Canadiens was not the most appetizing game to watch, but it gave us an insight on what the Senators need to improve on, and that is speed. And a big reason Alex Fermenton, an 18-year-old second-round draft pick from last year's draft, is sticking with the team so far and has made it through multiple cuts is because he has speed. The Senators do not have a lot of speed on their team, a lot of slow players like Phaneuf. Odia is not fast. You got Nate Thompson. They're not fast players. You got a few fast players like Ryan Dzingel and Mike Hoffman, I guess, and obviously Erik Karlsson. But a big reason Alex Fermenton is still on the team, and I wish we would send him back to juniors to develop him more, but I can see why we keep him up here so far, is his speed is a killer to other teams. You put him on a line with J.G. Pageau, who is a pesky little guy, with Ryan Dzingel and Fermenton here. That's a line that could do very well, very, very well. A speedy line. In the NHL these days, it's all about speed. And Fermenton gives the Senators that much-needed speed. So there were some roster moves today by the Ottawa Senators, as Ben Harpur was sent down, including to Belleville, and as well, Senators' top defensive prospect, Tom Chabot, was also sent down to the Belleville Senators. Controversial move, in my opinion, but we'll get into that later. It's good that at least he's in the AHL, he can develop, and he will be in the NHL, I assume, sometime in the season. Let's start with the goaltenders, as Marcus Hogberg played in a couple of games in the preseason, and most notably against Toronto in the second game, where he was spectacular. He made multiple big saves, over 20 saves he made that night it was practically the Senators' AHL team versus the Toronto Maple Leafs NHL team, and Hogberg made multiple huge saves, looked strong, positioning was good, rebound control was decent, so obviously some developing to do for him, but Marcus Hogberg looks legit so far against NHL talent. Andrew Hammond, he's not even a bad goalie. He was put on waivers, sent down to Belleville. No one claimed him, so he's in Belleville now. He should be traded by the end of the season. He will not be re-signed by the Senators. Andrew Hammond is a good caliber NHL goalie for a backup position or third string as a starter in the AHL, and I expect there to eventually be interest around the trade deadline for him. Chris Drager, haven't heard a lot about Chris Drager, but I presume he will be playing in the ECHL with one of the Senators' loaned teams they give him to, because the Senators don't have a primary ECHL affiliate. And of course, Danny Taylor, the Orleans native from Ontario, played in the KHL last year, had crazy stats, had a over 920 save percentage. Danny Taylor should mentor Marcus Hogberg into the North American style of hockey, and Danny Taylor should be a good third-string goaltender, the call-up, if need be, for a backup or starting replacement for a game or two. He has that experience from the KHL, and he should do well in Belleville. So we'll see how that goes. Now on the defense, a lot of players impressed me. Max Lajoie came out of nowhere, in my opinion, almost even made the team. Was one of the final cuts from before today's video. He looked very good. He's in Belleville now, his first pro season. Last night in the Belleville Senators' first preseason game, he scored the first goal for them, technically. So Max Lajoie looked very good. Some other players, Christian Yarrow was really impressed early on, laying out the body, showing off some offensive promising. So Yarrow's looked good. Ben Harpur looked a little shaky, knowing he can go on the waiver wire, which he was today, sent down to Belleville and put on waivers. He's Ben Harpur. I don't know what he's going to be. He could be a top 6 defenseman, and sometimes he looks like he could be only an AHL defenseman, so that he needs to develop a little more. Andreas Engeland looks fantastic. Like last year, he played a few games, laying out the body, chipping up the puck, making some nice plays. And now with the Senators roster right now, I would assume when Karlsson comes back, because Chabot and Harper were sent down today, which means a good sign that Karlsson should be back for the home opener. Somehow he will be back. So Karlsson should be back. So Karlsson and Oduya will be together, Phaneuf Ceci, and then you have that third pairing where now Chabot's out of the picture. So who are you going to put there? You can put Weidman. Now that's Borowiecki or Claesson. I personally would put Claesson. Knowing Guy Boucher, he will put Borowiecki. But the Senators' defensive depth looks good and promising with Yarrows and Lajoie, and of course Chabot looking very, very good for the future. And the Senators should start to think about trading Phaneuf to free up some cap space for Turris, Hoffman, Stone, and Karlsson, of course. As well, speaking of the goaltender front, I forgot to talk about the starting goalies. Mike Condon, he looked a little shaky in the preseason, but he's Mike Condon, I'm sure he'll rebound. And if not, the Senators will find a way to deal with that and work with him. Craig Anderson signed a contract extension for 2 years, over $9 million total. So that's good for him. The Senators' goaltending situation is now locked up for the next 3 years, with Condon's 3 years and Anderson's 2 years, including this year. And now let's start with the forwards. Few players came out of nowhere for the Senators this year. A free agent pickup, Tyler Randall, who's AHL vet. He almost made the team, and he should be called up midway through the season. He really impressed early on and could be a good fill-in for the wing if need be for injury reasons. Alex Fermenton, who we talked about needing speed on the Senators team, he looks good. Scored a goal against Winnipeg right through the defense. I'm a little hesitant to have another Kurzazar type of situation, but obviously the Senators management knows a little bit more than me. So if they want to start Alex Fermenton and they think he's ready, his speed looks fantastic. I say give it a shot. But I believe if it was between him and Logan Brown, I would pick Logan Brown. Big-sized center, big body, 6'4", 6'5", I believe, or 6 foot. He's 6 foot something. I don't know the exact height. But Logan Brown looks excellent. He scored a few goals in the preseason so far. He's a huge body, can win the faceoffs. And with Derek Brassard presumably out for some of October, Logan Brown will have a good shot at making this team, as they have not been sent down yet. Reinhardt, another free agent pickup, looked good. He played in Europe last year. He looked good. On the Senators prospect angle, Philip Schlappick, who a lot of people didn't know until last year, where he got over 100 points with Charlottetown Islanders at the QMJHL, almost made the team as well. Guy Boucher did say he was very impressed with Philip Schlappick. He is in the AHL and maybe potentially a midseason call-up. Max McCormick didn't really impress me that much. It's more of a fill-in guy that plays 5-7 minutes, like a goon type of player. He did sign a 2-year deal for this year. So this year he goes through waivers. He has a one-way deal, I believe, for the next 2 years. A little interesting there. I guess the Senators believe in him, but he was sent down today. And besides that, with the main Senators roster, there are some question marks, like with the fourth line. With the third line, it all depends on when or if Derek Brassard or Erik Karlsson come back. My takeaway from this preseason is the Senators have a lot of more skill than a lot of people give them credit for, and I do believe the skill should be broadcasted and previewed throughout the season. I expect Schlappick, I expect Reinhardt, I expect Randall, and I expect Brown, Formenton. All these players at least get some certain types of games. For forwards, defense, I expect Chabot to eventually be up soon, and hopefully there will be no injuries on the goaltending front, but hopefully Danny Taylor can get a shot. I really believe in him, and hopefully Andrew Hammond can finally get traded and have a new start. He is a good goalie, after all, when not injured, so I believe he should get a shot somewhere else. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed what we learned from the NHL Sanders preseason. I will talk to you guys before the Sanders home opener on Thursday, October 5th, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time versus the Washington Capitals. And hopefully we'll get more news before then if Erik Karlsson, who should be starting now with the send-downs of Harper and Chabot, who should be starting the home opener, and Derek Brassard, who's not wearing a non-contact injury jersey. We will talk more about the Sanders preview for the main roster in the upcoming days, so thank you all for watching. If I forgot about anybody, please comment below. I'll see you all soon. So thank you all for watching. Please follow us on Twitter @SensTalk_ for live tweet updates of the games and, of course, breaking news. Like us on Facebook at SensTalk, add us to our circles on Google Plus at SensTalk. Click the big red button down there and subscribe to us. Like this video, share this video wherever you share cool stuff. Of course, right here, use our sponsor code. Go to SeatGiant.ca if you want to buy Sanders tickets and use the code SensTalk. You'll get a discount on your tickets, so please support the channel and get a discount on Sanders tickets. Of course, click right here, here, and here to subscribe to us to watch our NHL playoff videos from last season and our season videos. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you soon. Go Sens Go.